Hey everybody, it's Sean with Culture for Good, and today I'm going to have a little conversation with one of our favorite affiliates. They're all our favorites, but Big Jim. Jim, we really appreciate you just taking a few minutes with us today and just chatting, man, and talking a little bit about Culture for Good and you and who you are and kind of how our paths crossed many years ago and where it's gone and where we're at today. But Jim, tell everyone a little bit about you in your world and what are you all about, man?
Well, basically, I met you and Ty quite some time ago, and I've been into health. I started health with my father-in-law. He's an insurance broker, and so there were some issues that we were dealing with, and we tried to get results, and we were looking for alternatives because we weren't happy with the situation with healthcare. So ran into you and Ty and found the products to be outstanding, found the ownership to be even better, consistent, and I've been with you ever since. I don't see myself leaving anytime soon.
We appreciate you, but hold on. But besides you having a passion for helping people with their health, what about your day job, man? You've talked to us about that.
Well, basically, I'm a high school math teacher, and my that's my living.
Yeah.
My passion is helping people with their health. So I went sideways with a lot of what I was doing during the day, and I just wasn't happy doing it, and got into the health portion and started working with you and Ty, and I've been going from
I
there.
think what's super cool about it, Jim, is that you're a great math teacher. The students love you. You have a great reputation for wanting to help people and wanting to help people learn. And you've taken that same purpose of yours, your experiences, your education, whatever you want to call it, and you've transitioned that right into helping people take their health more into their own hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's why maybe you gravitated to Ty, and I don't know, you had some success helping people with the products, but we love your heart. We love your wanting to help people. It's never been about selling products to people for you, and nor has it for Tylene and I. And I think that's why we kind of became so bonded in a way, and we appreciate that about you. And so it's great for people to sell products and all those things. Really, our whole purpose at Culture for Good is creating that culture, that environment to help people take their health more into their own hands. And then the other side is to help people generate an income stream by helping people with their health, right? And so I think it's a beautiful fit. But what do you think?
Well, the biggest thing that, with teaching as my background, I wanted to teach people how to better themselves, whether it be through the health or the business aspect. But I think that's the most fun in doing all of this, is that you actually teach people there's different ways, and there's a way to better yourself health-wise, financially, and you just have to find the right people to help guide you.
Yeah, and it's messy out there. Right, and I don't just mean there's a lot of health stuff going on, which there are, right? There's a lot of that stuff. Everyone knows that. I don't need to go into that. There's a lot of that. I think people now more than ever, they want to say, how can I be more preventative, right? How can I learn some more basic things that I could be doing for myself or my children or my spouse or friends, family, whatever? And I think that, we've been doing this 20 some years, and my gosh, it's changed so much. We started with this gut health thing, and it kind of just went on this path of its own, and over here and over there, but we've always really tried to stay true to the gut health, because really that's where everything starts, right? As you know, and that's our belief system as well. But I think I don't know, I don't think people, when they hear things like affiliate programs, right? The beauty of you, Jim, in our opinion, is not just your passion, but what I love is the diversity of the different types of affiliates that we have associated with Culture for Good. You're a high school math teacher. You're not an online whiz. on social media, right? You're not that
Oh,
guy living
that's for sure.
on social media, and how many videos can I make, and how many friends and followers do I have? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic. That's another way. But there's so many different ways to reach people. I mean, share a little bit, man, like how you've reached out, and what's your secret? Because you've done very well with your just longevity of being involved and your consistency.
Well, the biggest thing is when we first met and first got started and all of this, it was one of the things that you said was just talk to people, but listen. And when we're out, like Chris and I will go out, and if we're at dinner, I have my bottle of enzymes with me all the time.
Yeah.
And somebody will say something, and you just kind of lean over and go, "Oh, okay," and you just listen and say, "Hey, here's an option." And then you just got to kind of be open to people and talking to them. And that was the biggest thing, is just keeping your ears open and paying attention to what's going on around you.
It's so true. Just keeping your ears open. I mean, going into a restaurant, right, and listen, or at someone's home, or a gathering, listen to people, right? We always say, listen what happens after they eat their food. And if you're in a restaurant or you're at a table with multiple people, you're going to start hearing people clearing their throat, they're sniffing. They don't understand that what they're consuming is not necessarily, their body's not saying, hey, this isn't cool with me right now. And so that's a great tip, Jim, of just those little things of listening. And the digestive enzyme that you're speaking of, Flow, kind of the flagship product.
Yeah.
For us, it's always been, and we have many products. As we were kind of a health practitioner line, a doctor line, but everything starts with digestion, right? And that means everyone's a prospect because everyone eats, right? And so that's a very simple thing to do. Hey, do you know anyone who eats? I mean, it's kind of a silly question, right? But that's what it really comes down to, and helping the body do what it is capable of doing or not so capable of doing on its own, right? It's really about that longevity, getting more energy from your food, having more level of comfort. Man, I mean, we got the platinum highlights going, Jim, both of us. So, we've been doing this a minute. And so, but you look great. You feel great. I feel, I just went and played pickleball with a bunch of youngsters and this morning, and I love hearing the stories, and I love a compliment. I think we all like to feel good. And a compliment to me would be, wow, you move really well, or how old are you, or something like that. And I just talked to a young guy. I was playing pickleball with him, big guy, college football player, offensive lineman, Jim, big boy. And he goes, what do? You work out all the time? I go, no, not really. I'd like to keep moving and doing things. I go, but we teach healthy lifestyle. It's a way of life, and we teach the gut first. And he goes, and almost every single time I talk to someone, it's the same thing. He's like, man, I could use some help with my gut, and it's a combination of not trying to know a bunch of stuff, you, me, or anyone. It's just enlightening and sharing some simple tips and tricks or knowledge. Everything seems like it's the elite athlete who we've worked with, or it's the doctor, right? That we work with doctors. No, it's everyday people, Jim, like myself and you, that really have a lot to offer, because it's really simple. Wouldn't you agree how simple this is for people if they only knew?
It's very 1, 2, 3-ish. I mean, you talk to people, you listen, you introduce them to the product, and then you get them involved. I mean, it is pretty 1, 2, 3 done.
Yeah.
And the products sell themselves.
Yeah.
Because they work. I'm a big researcher, so I'm always looking at products.
Yeah.
People talk to me about the product. It's like, you're not going to touch anything I've got.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have the ownership and the leadership that's in the Culture for Good that anywhere. It's more family than it is business.
Yeah.
And it's products that work. Long time ago, products sell themselves because they work. And if you get something that works, people are consistent and they stay with it.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's really cool about that is the way we compensate people is, and most companies don't do this, we compensate them, you bring us a customer, we pay you forever, meaning every single time that customer makes a purchase, they're tagged to you. And we're going to continue paying you. They might order this month and not order again for 2 months for some reason, 3 months. It's still your customer. Or they may order 3 times a month. You get paid every single time, right? You got people you're getting paid on now for years and years. And that's
Yeah.
that kind of that, passive or residual income, whatever you want to call it. People call it different things. And I think that's a really neat thing for people to understand it. It's like, look, we're not hyping anything. We want to help. And when the product helps people, they keep buying it. They know when they stop, right? I mean, it always happens. You stop trying to, maybe they stop using it, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking?
It's a good feeling too, is when it helps somebody and they tell you, I can't believe it. It's like, where has this been all my life? And so, that kind of is
Yeah.
almost as good as the paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just nice that it's anybody, right,
Mhm.
age-wise,
Yeah.
and that we can help, basically. And I think from the business side, the beauty of all this is, I mean this, I'm going to say this with love. I don't mean this is not a negative, this is a positive. Dude, you're a quiet, humble man who teaches math. And that is not really thought of as a salesperson. Like, right? I always hear people say, I can't sell anything. I can't. I mean, come on. I mean, and that's what I love about you, for people to get just really introduced to you, exposed to you. It's like, this is a math teacher who's just trying to help some people and generates a revenue stream. And I mean this with love. If he could do it, I could do it. Because,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, and you're one of those stories, and that's the beauty of it. And I just want people to understand that, because so many folks out there get in their own way sometimes, and we want to attract more affiliates like you, Jim, and like others. Everyone can do it any way they want. Right? They can, whether it's their social media platforms or whether it's relationships they have with, a brick and mortar business location. It doesn't matter if you're a math teacher or if you're a TikToker, right? Or Instagram. It doesn't really matter. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, unless you have anything else to add, man, I just, we appreciate you. And any tips, advice that you'd offer, or if someone was looking at Culture for Good to maybe get involved as an affiliate, it's free. There's no risk, but anything you'd say?
Well, like you said, it's free. When I signed up, I just started listening to people. I offered my advice, my help, and said, consider this, introduce them to the product. And they come back to me. Like you said, I'm not a salesman, and my father-in-law is a salesman. And when I talk to him, he's like, how come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing this? I said, I don't have to. I just have to talk to him. Introduce the product. And then the product sells itself. It works. And I said, you need to talk to Sean. You need to talk to Ty. And once that happens, it's essentially a done deal. It's like, next conversation.
Yeah.
It's not a difficult process. It's just a matter of listening, introducing the product. And
yeah.
I could tell you this, story after story. The biggest seller that I have, as far as, using a story, is my wife. Years ago, she had this issue with her stomach. She ended up in the hospital. Had no clue. Doctors ran all the tests, put her on acid preventers, acid blockers, everything, and nothing helped. And I said, try this. And she did, and not a problem since.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, we all have these stories, and we have whatever number. You stop counting, we stopped counting it when we surpassed 10,000 stories of what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And so the biggest thing I think for people is to experience it themselves, right? And
yes,
we do our fun little pudding demonstrations sometimes with the digestive enzymes, and the proof is in the pudding. Well, the proof is in the product as well, and everything It starts with food first, with people's health, but I just think it's a great way to help people. I think it's a great way to take, and help people with their health. And I think it's a wonderful way. We've tried to do everything we can. We're constantly looking for better ways to help people like yourself who want to help people. Or you know what? And if you don't want to help people, some people just want to make money. That's okay. We don't, create all the abundance you can. We're all about that for people. We love seeing those stories too. It's great. The health stories are super amazing to hear. Never gets old, but it's also so fun to hear revenue streams, financial changes for someone, in their household, whether it's an extra $500, $1,000, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. It's not like this hype thing. You can be a gazillionaire. You could maybe, if you're that person, but it's the everyday person that we want to attract. And if someone's a superstar salesperson, we're going to love them too. We're going to help them any way we can, but everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. It's simple. It's free. And Jim, thanks so much, man. Have an amazing 2025. We're excited about it. So many cool things coming around for us that we'll be doing with our affiliates and customers. So with that, peace out.